right, we're coming at you with a preview of the first men's semifinal between Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner. A rematch of last year's quarterfinal, where famously in the tennis world, Sinner was up 2-0 against Djokovic, but could not get the job done. Djokovic comes storming back to rip out his little Italian heart. Will it be different this year? What's changed since last year? How have they looked so far in the tournament? And what's my prediction? Well, we're going to get into it because that's what we do here on The Slice. So let's get going. Is that a little too far? A little too far with the little Italian heart? I don't mean little. There's nothing little about his heart. Jannik Sinner is a champion. Not of a slam or really any big titles yet, but he was a future champion. And he's one of the greatest young guys on tour. Of course, part of that next group of Alcaraz, Rune, and Sinner. The 20-year-olds, 20, 21-year-olds. So this kid can ball. And he's into the semifinals. His first ever major semifinals to play Djokovic, who's been in more semifinals probably than Sinner's actually played majors in his entire career. Someone should fact check that. But anyways, it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a great matchup. We've looked at it for a while. Cool bet. If you're going to bet, stay cool, bet responsibly. And this is the odds that they got at. They got Djokovic as a massive favorite at 1.19 times your money to win, and huge value on Jannik Sinner to win on the money line at 5.25 times. Is it justified? I don't know. If you're going to bet, use Cool Bet. Stay cool. Bet responsibly. Link below. AG1 is the best way to get your nutrition daily. It's great. It tastes as good as a drink that has that much nutrition and good stuff in it. Could taste, I feel. And it's a great daily healthy habit. Also, a huge shout out to our sponsor, Go Sport. Secure the bag. Secure the best tennis bag in the world. I love mine. I use it every time I play tennis. Get yours below. Links all below. Thanks for supporting the sponsors who support the show. That's all. So we're going to get into it. Preview. Sinner versus Djokovic. It's a big question, obviously. Do you remember the last year's match? I remember it. It was a great match. Big surprise. Sinner gets up 2-0. Not a big surprise, some may say, that he then could not close the match, and Djokovic was able to come back, win the next 3 sets on the trot. In a way, you win 2-0 against Djokovic. The third set was not really that close. I think Djokovic won it pretty steadily, and then it's just you're right back into a match. It never really felt like Sinner was that close to winning that match, if we're honest. Can things be different yet this year? What has changed? That's a big question. Before we get into that, we're going to look at how they got here. So how did they do in the fourth, and by fourth, I mean quarterfinals. So let's take a look at it. Rublev Djokovic. Djokovic drops the first set to Andre Rublev with one break coming from Rublev. It was right at the end of the set. And a little bit of a loose set from Djokovic, but then immediately 6-1 set after that. And then the next set 3 and 4, fairly close. Obviously, I think just one break in each of them. 2 breaks actually in the fourth set there. So Djokovic, as you can see from the stats here, just clearly the more solid player in every category, pretty much, except for the distance covered, which is not a good stat that you want to be winning in. Anyways, Djokovic looking solid. Rublev looking good. The big question was obviously what can Rublev really do to hurt Djokovic on this surface? Over 5 sets, it was always going to be really, really tough. So Djokovic played good. He hit one of the best backhands I've literally ever seen. Maybe the best two-handed backhand up the line shots I've ever seen. You should look it up on the Wimbledon Twitter. I don't have it up here, but I think it was in the 4th set near the end of the match. And he just literally just steps through it, just presses all the way through. Just a thing of absolute beauty. It's as beautiful as a two-handed backhand can possibly get. More beautiful than most one-handed backhand winners that you'll see. It was incredible. So that was Djokovic. Djokovic plays grid, still on track to defend this bad boy. But yeah, how did Sinner get through? So Sinner takes out Safiullin in also 4 sets, drops the second set. 14 aces, pretty good there. 90% win rate on first serve. That's going to be important. 68% at the net win is great. Broke 6 times. 36 winners, 24 unforced errors. So, in all, good match from Sinner. Solid, gets through, wins the match he's supposed to win. That's always hard for these young guys. I feel like when they're the favorite, these haven't been the favorite that often. So, to me, that shows a good mental win for Sinner. And I haven't seen anything that shows me that he's not physically fit and ready to go against Djokovic. So, this is their third meeting, the head-to-head right now, 2-0 for Djokovic. Let's take a look, though. This is going to be big. Let's compare last year to this year. Then I got my chart of which areas of the matchup I'm giving to Sinner versus Djokovic. So last year, so this is the quarterfinal from 2022 Wimbledon. Look at the stats. People talk about Jannik Sinner's serve a lot. So both had 8 aces, both had double faults. First serve percentage. Sinner was only 54% in. And then the win rate on that first serve was only 68% for Jannik. Obviously, incredible returning from Djokovic, as he's always going to do. Djokovic won 82% of his first serve. Interestingly, that the second serve, Jannik looks to have a better second serve than Djokovic, or at least a better win rate in this match. And then, it was close. Obviously, Sinner broke Djokovic 4 times. It was a great match. Good match from Sinner, but I do believe that he's going to have to get his serve percentage higher to really be able to put it away against Djokovic. Has Sinner's serve changed in the last year? To be honest, I haven't watched steadily enough of him to be able to say that definitely. I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's beefed up a little bit. And that's always been a thing where people talk about his serve isn't good enough to really get it done. Some of you who might have watched more of him than me, you can comment down below. Has Sinner's serve changed substantially since last year? I doubt substantially. But he did have a 90% win rate on his first serve against Safiullin. So that's a great sign for him. But Safiullin is not Djokovic. We know this. So let's go through the categories that we got here, looking at the matchup. This matchup. Sinner, Djokovic. Serve. I'm giving Djokovic 3 check marks out of a possible 3 out of 3. Sinner, 2. Djokovic's serve has become so accurate, so good. We've all talked about it throughout the last 5-6 years on grass. He's able to be clutch with it, find those serves when he needs, especially in the big moments, especially later on in tournaments. So his serve is as good as it can get on this court, unless you're a serve bot. Sinner, we'll see. I'm giving it a 2. Compared to Djokovic, it's probably definitely a 2. Return, same thing. If you notice, all three check marks for Djokovic. So for those of you who say don't respect Djokovic, go fly a kite. Return 3 for Djokovic. We already know this. Sinner's got a good return, but to be comparing it to Djokovic, you have to have a separation there. Djokovic is the greatest returner of all time. Forehand, both of them huge. Sinner even bigger probably, but Djokovic is a 3 out of 3. Sinner is a 3 out of 3. Backhand, both amazing. So I think when it gets to rallies, it's going to be really interesting to see the stats in that aspect of the game, how much it'll come away from the serve and volley, what the conditions are. Is it going to be slower? We will see. You got to think that a slow condition almost might help Sinner. Hits a little bigger from the baseline, but it's hard to do that for 5 sets. So I will say movement on the grass, 3 out of 3 for Djokovic, 2 out of 3 for Sinner, and at the net, 3 out of 3 Djokovic, 2 out of 3 Sinner. So yeah, the cards are stacked against Sinner still. He's still 22 or 21 or whatever he is. He's won 0 majors. Djokovic has won 23 majors. He's 36 or 7, and he's not looking old at all. What's changed since last year? I think Sinner would have got better. He's got Darren Cahill in his box. He's hopefully mentally stronger. He has more experience. He's beefed up a little bit. And Djokovic has gotten a year older, theoretically slower, but definitely not actually slower. Yeah, my keys to the match for both guys. Sinner, 65% first serves in is the target. 55% last or 54% last year, not going to cut it. He needs to get way more first serves in, and if that means taking a little bit off, I think that's a good move. You just got to get those in because you're going to be more often than not playing from the advantage on that second shot, even against Djokovic. So that's going to be key. And then just believe. Like, he has the game to hurt Djokovic. He did that last year. He won 2 sets in a 5-set match. That's pretty good. But again, if he gets to a similar position this year, if he's 2 sets to love up, can he believe? You don't know. But you think at least he would have the experience from last year being like, I've been here before. This is what not to do. This is what to do. And maybe he can keep pedal down. Maybe he can believe and get over the line. And for Djokovic, my key to the match is be normal. Djokovic's best is too good for anyone else in this draw. Let's be clear about that. If Djokovic just does his best, he's winning this for sure. Unless, physics are defied and somehow Sinner comes out and plays the absolute match of all time and Djokovic plays amazing and still loses, we'll see. But Djokovic, keys to the match, be normal. Let steam off if you need to. Keep it cool. Don't get too mad. Just do your thing. Lock in. Let the younger play against the younger guys in experience. Every time, Djokovic just knows that. He says, not trying to be cocky, but I consider myself the favorite. Well, yeah, of course you should. Every time there's a big moment in the match, whether that's a match point for Sinner or match point for yourself or, set point to go 2-1 up for either guy. Djokovic has been in that position so many more times than Sinner. So his belief just has to be on literally another planet system, another planetary galaxy than Sinner's. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge for Sinner, for any other young guy right now, challenging Djokovic. I guess against Medvedev is the one guy in this draw left who's been there in a major final against Djokovic and won, which is crazy to think about. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, as they say. But my opinion, prediction time, Djokovic in 4. But Sinner can do this. We proved last year that he can get into a pretty good position. If he got there again, 2 sets to love up, would he take it to be 2 sets to love up enough to just win 1 of 3 sets? I think he would love another kick at that can. But Djokovic, too strong right now. In my opinion, we'll see. But yeah, that's why we play the match. And I can't wait for this matchup. It's going to be great. There's going to be amazing rallies. We'll see if Sinner's serve is better, if he can perform better on that this year around. But that's yet to be determined. So anyways, that's a preview of Jannik Sinner versus Novak Djokovic for you, the best tennis fans on the internet. Thanks for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. Help us get to 20,000 by the end of the year. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time here